We all love when business is going great, and it's easy to make business decisions during good times. But just as some of the biggest and most successful businesses in the world today were started during economic downturns, there's actually a big advantage to moving your business offshore during an economic downturn. I'm going to explain why and how you can take advantage in this video. Hey guys, I'm Andrew Henderson, and if you'd like to learn how Nomad Capitalist helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs go where they're treated best and move their businesses internationally, you can learn more at nomadcapitalist.com. Now, let's talk about when you should move your business offshore. When is the best time to do that? Now, I've said the best time is when the pain of the money that you're paying to continue doing what you're doing is more than the pain of having to take the effort of going offshore. I.e., if you're paying $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, $1 million in taxes that you think you're just not getting the value from, and that's worth it for you to go out and figure out how to move your business offshore and get the job done, then that's when it's the right time to do it. As I have said before, there are folks who are living in California and all kinds of other high-tax places around the world where they are paying millions and tens of millions of dollars in taxes every year, and it doesn't bother them too much. They don't worry about it too much, and so for those folks, they're not ready. But when is the best time from a financial standpoint? When does it make most economic sense? And there are a lot of arguments for taking advantage of an economic downturn to go and move your business offshore. The first reason is this kind of emotional reason that I talk about, where you do have to be worked up enough to put in the effort, and you have to have time to put in the effort. And so when times are good, I can speak from experience, I'm sure you can too, when times are going well, sometimes you're so overwhelmed, it's just about, getting the orders out, getting the pallets on the truck, getting the clients served. You'd barely have time to breathe. And so while you certainly should be moving your business offshore at that time, because every day is costing you a lot of money that you're not doing it, you may not just have the time. It may just constantly get bogged down because you say, I don't want to lose $1 of revenue to save 50 cents in tax. And so there's that, during downtimes, maybe you have more time and you're looking for those efficiencies, how do I save money? Reducing your tax bill is pretty much a guaranteed savings. It's not like, let's spend money on advertising and hope it brings in customers. It's, if you do all the right things to satisfy the tax man, you will save the tax bill, and you can legally reduce your tax bill to 0 or 3 or 5 or 10% by going overseas. But there are other factors to consider financially. One of them is an exit tax. Now, we work with some Americans who'd like to give up their U.S. citizenship because the U.S. follows you for tax no matter where you go. And if you run a big business, the paperwork can be really difficult. There's just a lot of things to consider. And there's a lot of new laws that you have to deal with as an American offshore. And so if you're making a lot of money, some people just want to expatriate. But we had someone recently who ran a business that was valued at over $500 million. And so as much as he was interested in renouncing, the fact is he would have had to pay capital gains tax on his not insubstantial share of that $500 million business. He didn't have the cash because his wealth is tied up in the company. But when you renounce, the government wants their cash. They don't want stock. You can potentially work with them, but they don't want to take your stock. They want you to liquidate and pay the cash. Now, in a downturn, paper valuations on some companies in situations like that could go down. Maybe you've got a down round, or maybe you just go out and get a valuation. Hey, the business is worth much less. That doesn't just apply to Americans. A lot of other people who are leaving their country, depending on how big your business is or how many assets you have, will be subject to an exit tax. Okay, and so if your business, at least on paper, has gone down in value based on lower revenue, based on just less euphoria to be buying companies, whatever, you can use that paper valuation at a lower level to either avoid the exit tax because your business is now below the threshold where they assess one, or to at least pay substantially less. And so being able to internationalize your business at a time when the chips are down is good because you can present yourself honestly. We're the goody two-shoes of the offshore world here. We always want to be honest, but honestly, in bad times, businesses go down. The stock market goes down, the value of your business goes down. You're going to have a harder time selling your business in tough times when people's capital dries up or when they're clinging to cash. And so that's a good time to do it. On top of that, if you're moving your business offshore, you might be moving some staff overseas. Or if you're doing more hiring those new positions overseas at lower prices. I work with folks from Australia and all the other big countries, but Australia in particular has, I believe, the highest minimum wage in the world. And I'm constantly talking to folks in Australia who say, I'm paying these guys a fortune and they're not even like that good. Like for average people, I'm paying a bloody fortune. And then you go to Serbia, Armenia, Venezuela, Egypt, Philippines, all these countries that do outsourcing, Ukraine, and you're paying people a lot less, and they're like eager to go. And so it's a way to not only reduce your taxes when times are slower, and then get ready to have substantial savings when times pick back up, because every downturn is temporary to some degree. But also lower your operating costs to make it easier for you to operate, make it easier for you to draw a profit when times are down. We have about 24 people on our team. And I can tell you, we're able to weather it because we're not hiring in the United States. And in countries like the United States recently, you've had record low unemployment, right? You're paying people top dollar to work for you there. But if you go to countries where people are looking for jobs and the wages are less, then you can build up your team. And when these tough times come, it is easier to sustain your company because you don't have a gargantuan payroll. You start to say, it's just worth it to keep everyone on the staff and just ride this out rather than saying, well, this guy's making 100 grand and this guy's making 200 grand and that guy's making 70 grand. We can't afford to lose that. So from a tax perspective, from a sustainability perspective, slow times, while it is uncomfortable to make decisions, will allow you to get the maximum value for your offshore dollar. They'll allow you to maximize your tax advantages, and they'll set you up for when things come back, you will be in a much more sustainable position than your competitors. Because when times do come back, when the economy does roar back, your competitors will still be sitting and paying 30, 40, 50% tax. They will still be paying customer service people in their country $50,000 a year. And you will have a tremendous advantage that when times are good, you can attack. Get yourself in that position when times are slower, so that way you can thrive when times are great. How can Nomad Capitalist help you? 4 ways. Number 1, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell to make sure you get our new video every day. Number 2, get a copy of Nomad Capitalist, the book. You'll learn a lot of my personal experiences over a dozen years of studying this stuff, as well as exactly some of the strategies that you can use to build your Nomad Capitalist plan. Number 3, if you're not sure where to start, but you want to come and learn from my team and I, you want to come and mingle with like-minded people, learn more about our live conference, Nomad Capitalist Live. It's coming up soon. And number 4, if you want some help right now because you've got a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to lower your taxes, get a second passport, or build the Nomad Capitalist lifestyle of your dreams, go to nomadcapitalist.com and click on Become a Client.